My experience with the Honor Magic V5 has proven to be one of the strangest of any phone I have ever reviewed. Typically, when I get a new piece of hardware, my excitement is at its peak. My desire to keep using that device is at its peak, and it degrades from there as the excitement wears off and you get down to the nitty-gritty of actually using the device. Those endorphins wear off. With the Honor Magic V5, things went in the opposite direction. Pretty early on, I was irritated by some of the iPhone-like changes made to Android that just provided enough friction for me to want to go back to my Pixel 10 Pro Fold, go back to my Galaxy Z Fold 7, but a strange thing did indeed happen. The more I used that phone, the more my sim went back into it, maybe to use that really impressive camera system, the more those friction points got a little bit easier for me to overlook, and the more I found myself really enjoying the Honor Magic V5 and wanting to go back to it. And it is because of that I am really excited to be unboxing today, right now, the Honor Magic V6. So without any further ado, here is the Honor Magic V6 box. We have sort of like an embossed thing going on here, there's like a texture. There's a thing sort of highlighting what that camera bump is going to look like on the back of the device. They're quite proud of their camera hardware, so you know they kind of accent it quite well. Here is the device. We're going to try and be strong and set it aside for just a moment. I will say that felt very, very thin and very, very light, but we will, as I said, be strong. SIM removal tool there, one of about 13,000 that I have. Love to see this. We do have another case already in the box, and this looks very similar to last year's case, which I really liked. It has the hinge protection and it has a kickstand built in. Love that. You've got a USB-C to C cable in there, and it looks like about it. And it looks like that's going to be it. This device is a foldable phone with a flexible display. Please take note of the following. Don't poke it with knives. We have a little open thing here, so we'll actually try to use the perforations. That didn't work. All right, so here is the device itself. I do not know what color I got. I suspect it's white, and it is indeed white, not for resale. No worries there. Honor not going to be doing any of that. You can see the camera hardware up top is a little bit different than last year's model. We have one more thing up there. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Am I crazy, or is the bump not quite as big? It looks like they're kind of sloping up towards it, and maybe that's just like an optical illusion. I might be blind because I honestly can't tell if that's an optical illusion or not, so I think we're going to have to measure. It's really hard to get that to focus, but that looks to be about even to me, and that is 6.56 millimeters. That is insane. That's crazy how big that is. And over here, yeah, we definitely do need to drop just a little bit. I would say round about there, so about 5.6 millimeters. So I think that there's like an optical illusion thing happening here with the sloping, but I do think it's also about a millimeter less tall, which is good. And we'll take a look around the device. So we have a speaker up top and a microphone. We have the power button / fingerprint scanner, the volume rocker, and then more microphones and another speaker. Fun to point out, there's a speaker here and a speaker here, which means that when the device is open, you have a speaker here and a speaker here, which means you have stereo sound everywhere. Love that Honor has kept that. If we kind of put these two devices side by side, you can see that not a lot has changed. The speakers look basically the same. The thickness of the device also very, very similar. Now, Honor does say that it is a little bit thinner than the V6, but it's not a huge difference. But man, look at the change in the camera bump. I hope that the camera performance has stayed the same, but they have definitely made some headway on the size of that camera bump. This will be hard to show, but we do have dual SIM, once again, SIM 1 and SIM 2, so that's cool. As we're continuing this setup, I want to point out how much they have shrunk the bezels on the cover display. That is a pretty significant difference. I was never really bothered by the bezels, but look at that. Editor Shane adding some additional footage in here, something I noticed after I'd had the device for a little bit. It's a flat display. The V5 had a very subtle curve on the edge there that we do not have on the V6, so that might make finding a screen protector a little bit easier. So here we are on the home screen. That setup process is done. It actually went pretty quickly. And you can see, I think, quite clearly that they're leaning pretty heavily into the iOS liquid glass look. By default, you sort of have the iPhone style situation here where everything is just on your home screen. You can change this to have an app drawer, and that is definitely something I'm going to do. Of course, like I just showed you, your quick settings and your notifications are sort of in this two-panel thing, which you are not actually able to disable. You are stuck with that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off that transparency mode and switch to sort of the older style. I'm not a liquid glass fan, not going to have that. And then we're going to jump into home screen and style and turn on app drawer. And now we're going to have more of a normal Android setup. Okay, so I've got my home screen pretty much set up. I do want to quickly show you something that I really love about these phones. You have a folder here, and as you can see, I can expand this folder out horizontally or make it a full-sized square. And then the cool thing about that is that at any point from then, you can just tap on one of those apps. You don't have to expand the folder. It's just going to jump out straight from that folder. Really good stuff. One thing Honor also really does quite well is the wallpaper and style section. There's just so much stuff going on here to go over. So if we go into like lock screen style, you'll see all kinds of different options that they will give you. I like this vibrant rhythm thing. So let's click on this and it's going to actually download that. It looks like it's in the cloud. And then what you can do is you can change the images out on this. So we need a different image. So now that I've got one from my Google Photos account, we're going to select that and then we can kind of pinch and crop and move her around. And it looks like the colors change there as well. It says dare to be different. So there would be your lock screen. And like I said, there are a ton of different recommended options here. Some of these don't seem like they're wanting to load in, but there you go. Fashion. You have all these different vibrant rhythm ones that have different shapes to them as well. Frames, spotlights. This is a cool one. You have like a gradient of like another image kind of like shining through. There's so much creativity here. There's another one that it perfectly popped Rose out from the background. I may roll with this one. You can actually change the text behind as well. So we're going to say stay cool in the template color. We're going to go with something kind of more like purpley. I think that looks pretty good. And we'll set this little gradient wallpaper that I made. And now we have a neat little setup here for, for my device. Like, how cool is that? So easy to go through. If we jump into the settings, you can see that there are just a million different things that you're able to do on these phones. They are absolutely feature-packed. AI translate, call translation, AI subtitles, AI writing. There's a lot of AI stuff there. I know some of you are cool with it, some of you don't like it. You can mostly just ignore it if you don't want to use it, but it is there. I like their sidebar as well. Like, it's very similar to Samsung's, but instead of having a little handle, you swipe in and hold, and then that little sidebar is going to pop out, and you can pin different useful things to that. This is a really cool one as well. So when the phone is locked and the screen is off, place it in a stable position. Like you can see here, basically these different like tint mode things. And what will happen is it should start to display something on the screen here. So we are now in standby. You can see that I can hit try now and there you go. That's very cool. You can swipe to change different styles. We've seen things like this, but the way that they're executing it is really cool. Of course, since this is a folding phone, you can grab your little taskbar at the bottom and you can grab a second app and then drag it into place in a split screen style mode, which will of course allow you to do cool things like this, having two things running at the same time. You can also do a floating window as well. Maybe we can do YouTube in the middle as a floating window. These things are extremely powerful, extremely flexible. There's so much stuff that you can do. Like I said, very feature packed. Something else that has been very noticeable to me as I've been editing this video is the crease on the Honor Magic V6. And I mean that in that it's been very hard to notice. This is the Honor Magic V5, which, look, I'm not bothered by this crease very much at all, okay? But it is there, and it is something that some of you are bothered by. If you're looking straight on, the crease is irrelevant on any and all foldable devices. But if you're slightly off axis, this is what it looks like. And this has, kind of been the state of affairs with these sorts of phones. And I don't know how well this is going to appear on camera, But let me just tell you that the Honor Magic V6 has the most difficult to see crease of any foldable that I have used so far. Hopefully that is coming through at least to some degree. This crease is the best I have seen done by anybody yet. I mean, that is very, very difficult to notice, and we're gonna have to wait to see for the full review, you know, a month or two down the line, how have things kind of broken in. But at least as we are right now, very impressive. A couple more specs that I want to kind of like drive home for you. You guys know how much I've loved my Galaxy Z Fold 7. This is such a phenomenal device. It's very thin, it's very light, but the battery is only 4,400 milliamp hours. Of course, the Magic V5 had a massive 5820 milliamp hour battery that lasts all day and then some. With this device, the Magic V6, they have pushed this to an insane level. This is a 6,660 milliamp hour battery. The Chinese variant is even larger than that, just a little over 7,000. This battery is also 25% silicon carbon, or silicon content, I should say, in this silicon carbon battery, which is just crazy. They are pushing the limits of these batteries at a pace that really no one else is keeping up with. Of course, in addition to this, you're going to be getting extremely fast 80-watt wired charging. The battery specs on this thing all around are just insane. Other sort of various specs to talk about. The hinge is rated to 500,000 opening and closing sessions, which, I mean, that's just absurd. If you take the number of opens and closes you do per day and divide that into 500,000, you will find that it is rated for a very, very long time. They've also said that it is IP68 and IP69 dust and water resistant, so lots to like there. In terms of the camera hardware, things are basically identical to what we had with the Honor Magic V5, which typically, you know, no change like that is going to be something that I might kind of criticize, and that's worth doing here, I think, to some degree. But the good news is it's a really, really good camera setup. So we have a 50 megapixel primary, a 50 megapixel ultra wide, and then a 64 megapixel periscope telephoto zoom, which is 3x. And again, in my testing with the V5 and my brief time with this V6, I think the camera system is going to hold its own against pretty much any other camera system out there on any foldable. Now, it's also worth noting that there is a fourth thing up here that I did mention earlier. This is a multi-spectral color sensor, and the general idea is that it should help this device kind of have more accurate representations of colors. It's like a camera sensor that isn't giving you a photo. Its only job is to just sort of capture color. So that's the unboxing. Now the real fun begins. This is going to be my daily driver for a while, and I'm going to just be using this device every single day, and that means a full review is coming. Now that full review is under embargo, so it is a little ways out into the future. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button before you go so that you don't miss out on that coverage. I do want to say a big shout out, big thanks to Honor for sending this device over for this video and for the future review and other content. As with my content, no money is changing hands for the production of this video, and Honor is going to see this video and subsequent videos at the exact same time as the public because they have no input onto what I'm going to say. These are my real opinions. Guys, give me your real opinions in those comments down below. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.